Welcome to the City Club of Cleveland, America's citadel of free speech for 96 continuous years. My name is Sanjeev Kapoor, and I am a member of the Board of Trustees and a past president of the City Club. As the price of gasoline has gone above $4 per gallon, our nation has increased its focus on energy policy. Our speaker today, Congressman Nick Rahall, as chairman of the House Natural Resources Committee, has taken on many issues that have an effect on energy policy. When Congressman Rahall assumed the chairmanship, he sent the nation a message by inserting back in the committee's name the word natural that the Republicans had previously dropped. True to that message of the importance of nature, Congressman Rahall has opposed the Bush administration's efforts to open up drilling for oil and gas in Alaska and in U.S. coastal areas. He has advocated eliminating the ability of oil and gas companies to avoid paying royalties when drilling for oil on the outer continental shelf. Congressman Rahall told the New York Times his agenda is, and I quote, not to engage in the wholesale destruction of pristine federal lands, sacrificing them on the altar of energy development, but to protect those resources which Americans cherish as places to recreate, hunt, and fish. Congressman Rahall's efforts, however, have not always won the applause of environmentalists. Coming from a state rich in coal, he has advocated increased reliance on that fossil fuel, especially by making use of new technologies that create clean liquid coal. Environmentalists, though, are upset by the impact of coal extraction methods on the environment, including the use of destructive mountaintop removal mining. Congressman Rahall has also come under criticism for his proposals to limit the use of wind turbines as electricity generating sources. He has suggested that wind farms have a deleterious impact on birds, but his critics allege that the move is aimed at protecting West Virginia's coal industry. No one can dispute, though, that Congressman Rahall is a friend of wildlife. He has recently championed the passage of a bill to prevent the commercial slaughter of horses for foreign consumption. As the grandson of immigrants from Lebanon, Congressman Rahall has also taken an interest on issues related to the Middle East. Although he supported the use of troops in Iraq by the first President Bush in 1991, he voted against authorizing military force in Iraq in October of 2002. He took this stand in spite of the fact that his congressional district had overwhelmingly supported President George W. Bush in both 2000 and 2004. In April of 2007, he accompanied Speaker Pelosi and 5 other congressmen in a controversial trip to meet with Syrian President Bashar Assad. This past week, as the press reported that Israel has been negotiating with Syria with the help of Turkey, that trip may not be viewed with as much controversy as it was in 2007. Nick Rahall has served in the United States House of Representatives for 16 terms. He was elected at the age of 27, and I'm told by Congresswoman Mary Rose Ocar that he was the youngest congressman, or he is the youngest congressman ever elected to Congress. He was first elected after winning a 10-way primary for the Democratic nomination. There is much speculation that when Senator Robert Byrd retires, Congressman Rahall will be elected to succeed him. On social issues, Congressman Rahall is more conservative than his fellow Democratic colleagues. He is proud of his life membership in the National Rifle Association, opposes abortion, and favors allowing prayers in public schools. Congressman Rahall's MySpace webpage indicates that one of his interests is collecting lapel pins. That may explain why Senator Obama, on whose behalf Congressman Rahall campaigned during the recent West Virginia primary, has recently been observed sporting lapel pins. Please join me in extending a warm City Club welcome to Congressman Nick Rahall.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jay. I appreciate the very kind introduction and want to express my appreciation to you, to Jim Foster, to Sam Kwan for extending the invitation to me to be here, and and to all of you for the superb hospitality, very gracious hospitality that I have received in the short time that I've been here. I do want to congratulate the City Club, the Citadel of Free Speech, on the tremendous programs that you've had in the past. Your concept of having this type of forum in which leaders from all walks of life come and speak in a free manner, and literally free, that is, and also have the opportunity, as Jim was reminding me beforehand, and also have the opportunity to respond to questions. My former colleague and sister in many battles together, Mary Rose Okar, so good to see you. We were elected together in 1976. I was the youngest of our class, not the youngest ever elected, but I was the youngest member of our 95th congressional class, and was back here in Cleveland when Mary Rose celebrated her 10th anniversary in the Congress, along with Tip O'Neill at that time, and still admire the leadership that she provides her home area on so many important issues. To Tony George, good to see you again, a dear friend of many, many years, and as well as Sam, we have always shared discussions and thoughts about issues of world peace. As we meet here today, speaking of world peace, countries around the world are in a dangerous state of unrest. Over the course of this year, riots have erupted in so many places: Haiti, Yemen, Egypt, Vietnam, Cambodia, Mexico, and Morocco. International charitable organizations are working to address a massive humanitarian crisis. And delicate democracies around the globe are being monitored for signs of collapse, including friends of the United States. Much of this unrest can be directly linked to food shortages. In some parts of the world, such as the Middle East, it can be water shortages. But what we're seeing today is that these food shortages can be largely linked, as the United Nations has stated once again just this week, to the huge increase in the production of food-based biofuels. It's disturbing to think that a drive to a local grocery store may actually result in less food for a starving family somewhere in the world. But that is what we are witnessing. With the help of nearly $8.9 billion, that's with a B, billion dollars in direct federal subsidies for corn in 2005 alone, corn-based ethanol production has more than doubled over the span of less than 5 years, jumping from 2.14 billion gallons per year in 2002 to 4.8 billion in 2006. And by the way, during this time period in which we've seen this dramatic increase, gas prices, to the best of my knowledge, have not gone down as a result. President Bush, eager to get behind the ethanol boom in this country, in his State of the Union address in 2007, recommended that we increase production to 35 billion, again with a B, gallons of alternative fuels, mostly in the form of ethanol by the year 2017. Now that's an increase of more than 700% in the next 10 years. Now when we talk about biofuels and alternative fuels, certainly we recognize as an American people, with the energy situation what it is today and our reliance upon foreign oil, that we do need to develop all of our domestic sources of energy. And I mean all of our domestic sources of energy. But when we look at the ethanol scenario, I'm reminded of a number of old adages, and you've heard them before. First, for every complex problem, there's a simple solution, and it's usually wrong. Another old adage, if something's too good to be true, well, you guessed it, it probably is. And then the old familiar one, look before you leap. These words contain the insight and the wisdom of many before me and the wisdom of many ages.